Welcome everyone to another episode of Inspire SA. My name is Narcis Mbuyu and welcome to another episode of Inspire SA. So today is Monday, and what we normally do on Mondays, we interview people or establish people in the tech world to share their story and share some insights on how they made it into the tech world and that we can get inspiration from their story, basically. So for today's episode, I'm joined from one of our good friends from Greek, from all the way in Greek, and we are here in South Africa. It just goes to show how the networking has gone about and it's been successful. So we are joined by our friend from Greek. Her name is Foteini, and also joined by our co-host Cornelia Mazibuko, who will be joining us for today's session. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome.
I would like to say thank you so much for inviting me in your show. It's very inspiring to see a student creating content and interviews and shows in YouTube and trying to empower other students and young people to join the technology world. So thank you for inviting me and for being here today.
No problem. The pleasure comes from you. So to get started with our talk for today's session, it's titled Overcoming Barriers and Empowering Women to Join the ICT Industry. So that is our topic for interview Mondays, whereby we'll be learning more about what is empowering, why do women not join ICT and the ICT industry. And we're going to learn more from Foteini, who's an MVP. She's also a student, and also she's a Gold Microsoft Learning Student Ambassador, and she's worked alongside some other Microsoft employees. So this is some good credibility for a young student and also for women. So if she's done it, why can other women do it as well in the tech world? So Foteini, can you please tell us about yourself briefly before we get started?
Yes, and thank you very much for this great introduction. Hi everyone, my name is Foteini Savvidou, and I live in Greece, which is a country in South Europe. Currently, I'm a final year student at the Department of Electrical Computer Engineering at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, and I specialize in telecommunications. So my main interests lie in the areas of wireless communications, IoT, AI, biomedical engineering, and cloud technologies, and especially Azure. So apart from my studies, as Narcis said, over the last couple of years, I'm actively involved in technical communities. And I speak at various events, meetups, and conferences, and I share technical articles in my blog. So how have I become involved in the tech world? When I was in the third year of my study, I joined the Microsoft Learning Student Ambassador program at the global student community of Microsoft. And I want to say that by this time, I literally have no idea about what Azure was, or I have not used any cloud technologies. So I was a beginner, and I thought I was not good enough to join a student community like the Microsoft Learning Student Ambassadors. But over the next couple of years, I co-authored a Microsoft course that was published on Microsoft Learn. I published several technical articles both in my blog and the official Microsoft blog. And I also spoke at meetups, both local and international, events and conferences. For example, one of the best experiences that I have as member of the student community of Microsoft was I had the opportunity to speak at the Microsoft Reactor along with the Microsoft Cloud Advocate. And I also participated at the at the Global AI Student Conference and the Global Azure and some other meetups.
Wow.
Thank you. So after all that, I was awarded first the gold milestone in the Microfluencer Ambassador community, and in October, I became a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional in AI. So that's a short introduction.
You've, as much as it's a short introduction, it's just like it has a lot on it, and you're just going to unpack on it basically. So, since touching on our topic, overcoming barriers, so if we look at the stats, the tech world is mostly dominated by men, like over 80% of men and 20% of women. So that is really a big gap, and we have to try and at least decrease that margin so that women are more involved in the tech world, in the technological world. So that's basically the definition of what our topic is. My first question for Tony is, did you have, through the short introduction that you've given us, what are some of the barriers that you went through or had to overcome to be where you are or to reach where you are right now?
Okay, so I have never dealt with any sort of discrimination because my gender of being a woman in technology. However, I have faced other barriers like the imposter syndrome, which many of us deal with every day. And what I mean is, what I learned from my short experience in the IT field is that you don't need to be an expert in a field in order to go outside and give a talk on a conference or a meetup or create a blog and share your articles. The only thing that you need to start a career in tech and succeed in tech in general is to have a strong desire to continuously develop your skills. And that's my advice for every young person that want to start a career in tech, and every woman that is afraid that she will not be good in the tech world.
I see. Okay, thank you for sharing. Cornelia, would you like to add on also with some of your experience that you faced when you are getting started with tech, if you don't mind?
Well, one thing I can say about being in the field of tech is that I've never planned it. I was the one who decided to put me in the field, and I'm thankful for that because one of my experiences here was that most males believe that they are the ones supposed to be here in this field and that they have more logic to be in this field. Mostly, basically, I can say that they undermine women, and that doesn't sit well with us. So we're here to prove to them that we also belong here.
Yes, and what better platform to do that on the show Inspires A. So my next question, or before I continue, Cornelia, do you have any question you'd like to ask for Tony before I continue?
Okay, so despite all the barriers that you've been through experience and all of that, so what carry on empowering you, and how do you empower other women?
So I had, I think I missed the first part of the question. If it's possible to repeat the question.
Oh, I was saying that.
Cornelia, can you repeat the question, please?
So it's all the. Sorry.
Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, I was saying how. Okay, how do you keep on empowering yourself to keep being on the field every day, just waking up and be like,
okay. I think her network is cutting through, but I'm just going to emphasize the question. So she's trying to ask you, Foteini, if what keeps on empowering you? What is your drive to do what you do, to wake up and say, this is what I'm going to do? I see this goal. What empowers you to do that, basically? That's what she was trying to ask.
I think I want to empower women in general, every young people to join our tech work. It's because as a child, as a teenager, I don't have quality education and about all the different types of technologies that are available. And although I choose to study engineering, that was more like a spontaneous decision. And through my work, I will try to improve the awareness about the potential of technology and the different types of technology that are available, and how every people and every human and can use all these types of technology to improve the world, and how they can develop their skills, and how they can become more empowered to go to the public and speak at events or share articles and share the knowledge and develop their skills.
I see. So basically the more exposure that you got is what like drove you or motivated you to just do more, basically.
Yeah.
Interesting. So my next question is basically, so you've told us about the barriers and how you are empowered to overcome. So now the next question that I want to ask is, what was your mindset through all of this? Because we talk about different types of strength, physical strength, emotional strength, etc. So what was like the mindset that you had going through all of this? Because sometimes, as Cornelia said, they feel undermined, like they're not going to take me seriously, or this job is only for men. You see, all of those things affect someone mentally. So what was some of the mindset that was going through your head when you are doing all of these things?
Okay. From my experience, I have never felt this discrimination based on my gender. But I know that many companies have this attitude and they reject women. But on the other hand, there are a lot of people and organizations that work on the field of empowering women. And nowadays there are some opportunities that are created especially for women looking to enter the technology world. For example, one can find fellowship and scholarship that are designed especially for women, or you can participate in hackathons, meetups, and bootcamps that are designed to empower the woman and help women improve their technical skills. So I would suggest every woman to search over this opportunity and just don't be afraid to join the world. I think many more people are trying to empower the woman. So if someone says you that you are not good enough to pursue a career in tech, just don't let this take you down. I think you are very good to join the technology world.
I see. So with that being said, can you tell us your journey on how you became an MVP? Because for those who don't know, MVP stands for Microsoft Valuable Professional. So it's after the ambassador program, there's MVP. So that's for working people who are already doing jobs and using Microsoft technologies to empower their businesses or in their workplace. And Foteini is also an MVP. So I'm like a guy, I'm also a guy, like, how did she do it? And what's the secret behind it? And Cornelia also wants to know. So can you please share your story?
Yes, I think it's not a secret, actually. The MVP award recognizes people of all ages that are trying to improve the technology world by sharing content, either by speaking in events or by creating content in blogs or creating content in Microsoft-related blogs and other sources. I nominated for the MVP award in August, and by this time I have participated in several events and meetups, and I ran also my blog. And one of the persons that I met through the Microsoft Ambassador Program, and then through the MVP community, nominated me. And after 2 months, I received the great mail that states that I received the MVP award. So what you need to become an MVP is to have a passion for technology and for sharing your knowledge with other people, and be actively involved in the tech community, either by speaking at events and conferences or by sharing content, and or creating content in the form of videos, and or maintain a YouTube channel like the one that you have with your community, and you can see us now. And or if you are more experienced, you can share. You can maintain an open source project based on Microsoft technologies. If you want to see a detailed guide, if you can see the story of other MVPs that have joined the MVP community and their achievements and their contributions, you can go to the official site of the MVP community, and you will find there the stories of many other people from our community.
Wow. Okay, you'll be sure to share the link so we can put in the description box. Cornelia, do you have any questions before I continue again?
No, I don't have questions. You can continue, Narcissus.
Okay, so now the next thing we want to talk about is your passion, right? So they say that we must choose what we want to do because they tell us in life to choose what we want to do. Okay, how do I phrase this? So basically, what you want to do in life is a very important decision, and it cannot just be taken lightly because it's going to affect how you're going to turn out in life, or it's going to affect a lot of things. And you've developed such a passion for technology, and you've spoken about AI and electronics as well. Can you tell us more about what led to your passion, or how did it start, and some of the technologies that you have worked with and are involved with, basically? I know you mentioned a few, but can you elaborate more on it so that people, the audience, can know more about this?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I will tell you the whole story on how I decided to study engineering, which is a story that very few people know. So I think I mentioned before that the decision to study electrical engineering was spontaneous. And actually when I was in high school and before joining the university, I wanted to study architecture, which is like a different field. And that's because when I was a child, I didn't have technological references like robotics and IoT that are gaining popularity in the last few years. But I was very interested in building things or solving problems, and I also loved mathematics. And then when I was a teenager, and I developed a keen interest in digital arts, and I spent a lot of time using computers. And also when I was, I think, 14 years old, I had my first start in programming, and I learned HTML and CSS, and I was able to build my first website. And however, I think that by this age I was not fully aware of all the possibilities of technology. And I think this lack of knowledge is due to the misinformation about all the possibilities of technology and all the different types of technologies that are available. And before graduating from my high school, I realized that I like technology and I want to study electrical and computer engineering. And so 5 years later, I'm like in the final year of my studies. And I think that's the story, that how my passion for technology started. And I think I made the right decision, because I feel that technology is actually my passion, and I want to help and other people find their passion for technology.
I see. Wow, that's a really fascinating story, to be honest, because we all have that feeling when we first write our first Hello World or the program runs for the first time. So that's one of the best feelings to have. Again, Cornelia, before I continue, any questions on your side to add on?
No, not really. It's just that I relate a lot about this thing of technology. It's something that we do not plan, but then we end up liking it in order to explore more on the field. Yeah. Yes,
that's true. So we have now talked about the passion, and now the next passion is, next skill that you've obtained throughout your journey is the skill of public speaking and helping other people, sharing your knowledge, and being basically a part of the community. So there's two parts to this question. How did you overcome the imposter syndrome, firstly? And then secondly, what are some of the skills and the tools that you use or motivates you to deal with people, to share with this knowledge with others? And basically, as you said you spoke at Microsoft React, you've spoken at the Global AI Conference. Like, these things are very huge in the tech world, in the tech community. So how do you do it, basically?
Okay, I will answer first your first question. And I have not overcome imposter syndrome. I deal every day with imposter syndrome, so this is actually normal. And it's although you say that I have spoken in many big events, I'm afraid in speaking in a big event. And the last 2 months, I tried to submit a conference talk for a bigger conference, and I always try to overcome the imposter syndrome. Although I'm an MVP or a gold ambassador, I every day deal with the imposter syndrome. So how to overcome the fear of public speaking, and I would say just relax. Everyone, even experienced speakers, are afraid of going on a stage and speaking in front of a big audience. So the first step is to relax. The second step is to practice your session. A good advice is to practice your session with a small group of people before going to the actual conference stage, and let them ask these people for feedback about your session, and also try to speak first at a local meetup in your local language, because speaking in a language that is not your native language is very difficult, and this may make you more nervous at the time of the conference. And the fourth step is to choose a session that the session content is familiar with you. Don't try to present a very expert content on your first talk. start with a beginner-friendly content or a content that you are familiar with, and you know that you know how to build everything of what you will present. And then try to improve your vision by adding more advanced things, and you will end with a presentation that you will feel comfortable with.
Okay.
And the last I would like to say is don't be afraid to submit a session to a conference. And even if you will not be accepted, this doesn't mean that you are not good enough, because many people get rejected in conference due to the limited number of the available spots in the conference program.
Interesting. You've said a lot today, and you spoke about confidence. You spoke about that even the experienced people also face imposter syndrome. They also feel nervous from time to time, and that's true. No matter how expert you are, or you can call you expert, we are all human, and we tend to get nervous from time to time, as you just mentioned right now. So the next question, as we're about to round off, is you've given tips so far on how to overcome barriers, or how some women can overcome barriers in their struggles. The next question is what kind of advice, or how can you how would you advise someone to get started in their into tech? Basically, maybe a young graduate who doesn't know what they want to do, or they're still conflicted, or they may be facing discrimination, which is not the case here. But what are some of the words of encouragement you would tell to that person?
Okay, I would say to explore all the different types of technology and choose the technology that you think that you like most, and then try to improve your skills in this type of technology by reading content from learning platforms, or by attending events, or by viewing YouTube videos, and the most important is to start building your own apps or your own project with these types of technology, because this way you will actually learn how to use the type of technology that you will choose. And yeah, and I think it's also very important to meet your local community, and meet a group of people that are also interested in this type of technology, because these people will help you to advance your skills, and to network and make connections that will help you to advance your career.
I see. Well, Foteini, to be honest, I'm really inspired by your story. Like, I'm also a student, and I didn't know that I could have been an MVP. So you really inspired me in today's session. So I'm just letting the others know that Foteini has joined us for interview Mondays, but she'll be back with a more practical session whereby she indulges with AI, and she'll be taking us through a form recognition app, which I also look forward to. But that's for next time. But right now, I just have to say that what I've gotten from your story so far, and like to sum up everything that we have spoken about throughout this session, is put yourself out there, basically. Communicate, reach out, and see, because there are people willing to help you. As you just said, you reached out, and one of the MVPs like really nominated you, and that takes confidence, that takes guts, that takes wit. And if you can do it, why can't they do it, basically? So it's really a nice, touching story, to be honest. Before we go, can you tell us more about your experience in the ambassador program as well, for those who do not know about it?
Yes, joining the Microsoft Student Ambassador program was one of the best decisions that I could make as a student. It's an awesome community. I met so many people from around the world, and I met so many people from Microsoft that actually want to help students develop their skills, network, and find the next path of their career. And I want to mention that when I submitted my application for the Microsoft Student Ambassador program, I was sure that I would be rejected because I felt that I was not good enough to join this community. And this is for everyone that is also afraid to join the community. So don't be afraid, class. Submit an application to this community and every community that you would like to join. And in the Microsoft Student Ambassador program, I had the chance to do so many different things, to collaborate with other students and build projects, use Microsoft technologies. And I also had the chance to take certification, which is like a very, very important for students to certify their skills in the new skills that they gained in the technology field. And there are so many things that someone can do in this community, and I will highly recommend every student to take the next step and submit an application, or join the local community in an event and meet all the students that are involved in this community, because everyone it's perfect. It's awesome. I know that every student is doing an amazing work.
That's really inspiring, to be honest, because even when I applied, I was like, am I going to be accepted? Is my video too good? What are they going to say? So we have all those doubts, Like you just mentioned, you're also certified. I think that would be my last question, because we can talk about so many things that can inspire other people from just sharing your story, by sharing your experience. So the last thing I want to touch about for today's session is your certification. How many certificates do you have so far?
I think I have 13 certifications.
What? 13?
Yeah. And
that's a handful. That's really a handful.
And
are you about to say something?
Sorry?
I said you're about to say something before I cut you off. You may continue.
Yes, I would say that I really like the process of studying about the certification, because I learned so many new things about Azure, about AI, about data, about programming language. And even if you don't have the chance to take the certification, go and study all the materials that are available for free and build projects.
Okay. So that's really inspiring as well. I mean, I have like one or two, and now you've just pushed me to like even do more and acquire more. So what pushed you to get certified, basically? Was it like a requirement, or you just did it because you wanted to do more and know more and expand your knowledge over the horizon?
I think that I took the first certifications because the Microsoft Student Ambassador program offered me a voucher for taking the Azure Fundamental certification for free. And I thought that's a good way to start learning about Azure. So I studied for 3 months, and then I took the certification and I passed. And then I learned about so many opportunities that offer a Microsoft certification for free for students. And I took some other certification about AI, data, and Microsoft Office, and some from programming languages. And so that's
Okay, so thank you, Foteini, for sharing these stories. It really helps. Just for those who don't know, being certified and accredited, it looks good on your CV, firstly, and also it shows that you know what you are talking about. So now we're like talking to an expert because she has a certificate to show that she knows what she's talking about. So with that being said, Foteini will be joining us next week for AI Tuesday, where she'll be taking us through AI, more specifically on the film recognizer. Before we go, Foteini, my co-host just left. Would you like to say any last remarks or last words before we end off today's session?
Yeah, I would like to say to every woman and every people that hear us today, don't be afraid to join the technology world. I think it's an incredible community and the possibilities that are available in technology are endless. So don't be afraid, just go for it.
As Foteini just said, be bold, put yourself out there, and you never know who's looking or who's watching. And the result is right in front of the screen, as you can see. Anyways, I don't want to spoil next week's episode, so I'll just keep it to myself. Do you know that this is our 99th episode of Inspire SA? So you're just like one away from 100.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share Foteini's story with people who you think might need it, because this small story or this few 30 minutes that we've taken over here can go a really long way for somebody else. So till next time, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.